pause. Before you open your eyes this morning, before your mind remembers the bills, the aches, the to-do list, place one hand over your heart. Feel it beating. It has carried you through every storm. It has never once abandoned you. In this moment, before the world claims you, whisper softly, "Thank you, life." That is where healing begins. You have been told healing requires years of struggle, expensive programs, and endless effort. But I will tell you something far simpler and far truer. Healing begins in a single moment of sincere gratitude. The moment you stop fighting life and start thanking it, even for its lessons, your body relaxes, your mind releases, and your cells begin to obey a new command, peace. For years, many of us wake up already worried. Our first thought is lack. Our second is fear. And by the third, we have already told our bodies to tighten, our hearts to close. That is the nightmare, living each morning as if we are behind, unworthy, unloved. But gratitude interrupts that pattern. It whispers, you already have enough to begin healing today. 5 minutes. That's all. 5 quiet minutes to speak kindness to yourself before you meet the world. Do it for 7 mornings and notice how everything softens. The body eases, the mirror looks kinder, and life begins to meet you halfway. Gratitude is not a task. It is a bridge back to your own wholeness. You may say, I've tried this before. Gratitude lists, affirmations, they never lasted. That's because you were trying to think gratitude instead of feeling it. Real gratitude is not a list. It's a surrender. It's the moment you choose to thank your body even when it hurts. To thank the past even when it scared you, to thank the future even when you can't yet see it. When you do this, your mind and body realign, stress hormones fall, energy rises. You stop running from the day and start allowing it to serve you. You become magnetic to peace, to health, to joy. Your life begins to obey the vibration of your appreciation, and it does not take months. It begins the first morning you remember. The speed of healing is the speed of your willingness. Each time you open your eyes with gratitude, you send a message to life. I am ready to receive good, and life, ever faithful, replies, I have been waiting for you. You do not need to fix everything today. You do not need to earn peace. You only need to begin with one grateful breath, one loving thought. The rest unfolds naturally. Tomorrow morning, when you wake, do not rush for the phone. Do not check the world. Check in with your own heart. Say, today, I am grateful for the chance to begin again. 5 minutes. 5 breaths. 5 words that change everything. Wake up grateful and watch your life heal. Each morning, before the noise of the world returns, I open my eyes and listen. I listen not to the sounds outside, but to the whisper of my first thought. It is that quiet, unnoticed moment that writes the script for the entire day. If my first thought is worry, the body stiffens. If it is gratitude, the heart opens like dawn breaking through the clouds. For years, I did not know this. I awoke each morning already in battle with time, with myself, with the day ahead. My first thought was always a command of fear. Hurry, fix, prove. Before my feet even touched the floor, my body was tense, my breath shallow. I had not yet spoken a word, and already I had told life, I do not trust you. It took me years to understand that life listens to the tone of my waking thoughts. The mind is the conductor and the body is the orchestra. Whatever melody I choose at dawn, the cells will play all day long. When I began to experiment with gratitude, the change was gentle but undeniable. I would open my eyes and say softly, thank you for this new morning. And the entire world seemed to answer, you are welcome. The first thought of the day is not merely a sentence. It is a vibration that touches every cell. When we wake with criticism or worry, the body obeys. It tightens, protects, braces for attack. But when we wake with appreciation, the body sighs with relief, the muscles ease, the breath deepens, and we remember that we are safe in life's care. I remember one morning long ago when I decided to begin differently. I had spent the night in restlessness, replaying my mistakes, worrying about my future. When dawn came, I placed a hand on my heart and whispered, "I am willing to see this day with love." I felt a warmth rise within me, a small flicker, but real. That moment became my teacher. The body understands sincerity. It knows when we mean what we say. It cannot be fooled by words spoken from habit or duty. Gratitude, when felt even for a single breath, carries more healing power than 1,000 empty affirmations. It is not about saying thank you as a performance. It is about remembering that even now, even here, we are being supported. Each morning, I began to notice how the smallest blessings awaited me: the light through the curtain, the soft rhythm of my breathing, the quiet companionship of my own heart. Gratitude revealed itself not as something to create, but as something to return to. Life had been offering me gifts all along. I had simply been too hurried to unwrap them. When we wake grateful, the mind becomes our ally instead of our critic. It begins to search for what is good rather than what is missing. The day reorganizes itself around this new instruction. The same traffic, the same tasks, the same faces all appear softer because we have softened. Gratitude changes not the world, but the way we see it. I used to believe that healing required years of work, endless lists, perfect diets, spiritual achievements, but the truth is much simpler. Healing begins in the instant we stop arguing with life. When I stopped saying, "Why me?" and started saying, "Thank you," I discovered a peace that no achievement had ever brought me. In my workshops, I would often tell people, your morning thought is your compass. You may not control every event of the day, but you can choose the direction from which you meet it. If you begin with love, the day unfolds under its guidance. If you begin with fear, everything seems to confirm that fear. Gratitude, then, is not just a feeling, it is a form of navigation. I often think of the mornings when I still forget. There are days when I wake hurried, when the old habit of anxiety creeps in. But instead of scolding myself, I smile. I take a slow breath and say, I forgot to be grateful. That's all right. I can begin again. Gratitude always forgives. It welcomes us the moment we remember it. Many people tell me, "Louise, I don't feel grateful. My life is too hard." And I say to them, that is exactly when gratitude has the most power. Gratitude is not a denial of pain. It is the light we carry into it. It does not say everything is perfect. It says, even now there is good here, and I am willing to see it. There were times when I woke into deep loneliness. On those mornings, I placed my hand over my heart and said, "Thank you for this beating heart. It means I am alive, and life has not finished with me yet." Slowly, the loneliness loosened its grip. The heart cannot remain closed when it is being thanked. The body listens to our every word. If we wake and say, "I am tired, I am late, I am behind," the body believes us. But if we say, "I am here, I am grateful, I am ready," it straightens like a flower toward the sun. I have seen people with long illnesses begin to glow again, simply because they learn to greet their mornings differently. You see, the body loves to be appreciated. It thrives under kind attention. When we thank it, it releases its tightness. When we ignore or scold it, it tightens further. Each morning, I now make it a ritual to greet myself kindly. "Good morning, Louise. Thank you for being here. Let's make this a gentle day." It sounds simple, but simplicity is the highest wisdom. There is a holiness in the first breath of the day. Before the mind remembers what needs to be done, before the worries line up to be counted, there is a silence. In that silence, the soul speaks. It says, all is well, you have another chance. That, to me, is grace. That is life's way of saying, begin again, my dear. When we thank life in the morning, we align with its rhythm. Gratitude is not forced, it is natural, like the body's own healing. Just as the heart beats without being told, gratitude arises when we stop resisting. It is the natural song of the soul when fear is quieted. I often recall my early days when gratitude felt awkward, almost artificial. My mind would protest, there is nothing to be thankful for today. But I would persist. I would find one small thing, a cup of tea, a ray of sun, a kind word remembered. Gratitude, like any muscle, strengthens with use. Sometimes we think gratitude should always feel joyous, but often it feels tender, even tearful. I have cried many mornings while saying thank you. Those tears were not sadness, they were release. Gratitude does not require that we feel good first. It is the bridge that leads us there. When I look back at my life, I see that every major healing began with one small act of appreciation. Not a grand decision, not a miracle from outside, but a quiet choice within. When I thanked my body, it began to heal. When I thanked my past, it stopped hurting me. When I thanked life, it began to bless me in return. So each morning, I remind myself and others, do not rush, do not rise with fear. Take one slow breath and whisper a thank you. The world can wait. This moment with your own heart is sacred. It will color every conversation, every action, every thought that follows. Even if you forget all day, remember this: life never stops giving you mornings. Every sunrise is an invitation to choose again. To wake in gratitude is to declare peace with life. It is to say, I am willing to begin anew. And when we do, life rushes to meet us with open arms. There was a time when I believed my body had betrayed me. It ached, it stiffened, it carried pains that no doctor could fully explain. I looked at it as something separate, something that needed to be fixed or silenced. It took me many years to understand that my body was not my enemy. It was my most faithful messenger, speaking in the only language it knew, sensation. The body does not lie. It repeats what the mind whispers. If the mind says, I am not safe, the shoulders lift to shield the heart. If the mind says, I must hold everything together, the jaw tightens and the back bears the weight. Our thoughts are sculptors, and the body is the clay. It shapes itself around the beliefs we rehearse each day. When I began to study this connection, I saw that every discomfort carried a sentence beneath it. The stomach murmured, I am afraid. The throat said, I cannot speak my truth. The heart whispered, I have forgotten to love. Once I listened, I realized my body was not punishing me, it was pleading with me to think differently. I remember my own illness, the one that first awakened me to this truth. The doctors gave their explanations, but I knew there was something deeper. My body was asking for forgiveness for the years I had spent in self-criticism, for every unkind thought I had aimed at myself. Healing began not with medicine, but with a new conversation. I am sorry, body. Thank you for carrying me through every storm. Every cell in our bodies hears every thought we think. The liver listens when we complain. The skin listens when we feel ashamed. The heart listens when we grieve without end. Yet, when we send thoughts of love, these same organs respond as tenderly as children finally being comforted. The body blooms in the presence of kindness. I have seen people who spent years resenting their bodies suddenly begin to heal when they learn to appreciate them. One woman came to me with chronic pain. She had spent decades judging her body as too heavy, too slow, too broken. I asked her to place her hand on the area that hurt and whisper, "Thank you for trying to protect me." She wept for an hour. The pain did not vanish that moment, but something inside her loosened. That was the beginning of her healing. When you thank your body, you remind it that it is loved. Appreciation is the medicine no doctor can prescribe. The body responds to attention the way a flower responds to sunlight. It turns toward it. Gratitude tells the body, "You are safe now. You no longer need to hold this pain to protect me." Forgiveness is the deepest relaxation the body can know. When I forgave myself for years of fear, I felt it immediately in my chest. A warmth spread through me, as if my ribs had opened. Forgiveness released the armor I had built to survive. Beneath it, I found softness, a peace I did not know I was capable of feeling. Illness is never punishment. It is a message written in flesh. The body simply reflects the mind's stories until we choose to tell new ones. The question is not what is wrong with me, but what am I still holding on to? When we meet our pain with curiosity instead of anger, the body begins to trust us again. Each morning now, I greet my body as an old friend. Before I rise, I place a hand upon my heart and say, "Thank you for beating all through the night. Thank you, lungs, for breathing without my asking. Thank you, bones, for carrying me." This simple act turns the body from servant to sacred companion. You may wish to do this yourself. As you wake, speak softly to your body. Thank you, eyes, for seeing. Thank you, hands, for holding. Thank you, legs, for carrying me through this world. You will notice that your body listens. It will begin to answer with ease, warmth, and energy. Appreciation calls the body back into harmony. Our bodies are miraculous gardens. Each thought we plant takes root somewhere within. Loving thoughts grow into vitality. Fearful thoughts tighten like weeds. Each day we have the power to tend this garden with care. Gratitude is the sunlight, forgiveness the rain. With both, the garden thrives. When you find an ache, pause before labeling it as bad. Ask gently, "What are you trying to tell me?" Perhaps your back longs for support, your throat for expression, your heart for rest. Each symptom is a teacher, each twinge an invitation to love yourself more deeply. One of the most beautiful discoveries I ever made is that the body heals fastest when it feels heard. When you acknowledge your pain instead of ignoring it, it relaxes. It no longer needs to shout. That is why affirmations work, not because they trick the body, but because they remind it that the mind has finally come home. I have said many times, every cell responds to love. Love is the natural language of the body. It thrives in kindness. It blossoms under gratitude. When you live in appreciation, your immune system strengthens, your breath steadies, and your sleep deepens. Life flows more easily through a body that feels approved of. If there is one thing I wish everyone knew, it is this: the body's natural state is harmony. Disease is only the signal that we have wandered from that harmony. Gratitude is the doorway back. Each thank you, each loving thought reopens that door a little wider until at last we remember our wholeness. There is no need to fight your body. There is only the need to listen. It has carried you faithfully through every heartbreak, every disappointment, every long night. Even now, it is trying to heal you. When you thank it, you join it in that effort. You become partners in the same sacred work. At the end of each day, I often place my hand on my heart again and whisper, "Thank you for today." It is a small gesture, but one filled with reverence. The body, after all, is not merely a vessel. It is the temple through which we experience life. Gratitude sanctifies it. The language of the body is not made of words, but of awareness. It speaks through feeling, through rhythm, through breath. When we slow down enough to listen, we realize it has been speaking love all along. Gratitude simply helps us understand its dialect. Every ache, every flutter, every sigh is the body's way of saying, please notice me. And when we do notice, when we look upon ourselves with gentleness, the body releases its old stories and begins to write new ones. Stories of peace, resilience, and grace. So tomorrow morning, before you rise, speak to your body as you would to a dear friend. Let your first words be kind ones. The body remembers every tone. Begin the day with thank you and watch how your cells respond. Healing does not need to be demanded. It needs only to be welcomed. That is what I learned through my own journey. The body and I are no longer strangers. We speak the same language now, one of gratitude, forgiveness, and trust. And in that language, I have found a peace that words could never fully describe. There is a quiet magic that happens when we begin to thank life sincerely. Gratitude is not a reaction, it is creation. It transforms the raw materials of our experience, fear, loss, disappointment, into something radiant and whole. Just as sunlight turns a seed into a flower, gratitude turns pain into wisdom. It is the spiritual chemistry through which the ordinary becomes holy. In my early years, I knew little of this alchemy. I spent many mornings thinking only of what was missing. I would rise and measure myself against others, what they had, what I lacked, what I had not yet achieved. My mind built walls of comparison, and my heart lived inside them. Gratitude, when it finally entered my life, was like a window thrown open. It let the air of possibility back in. I discovered that gratitude does not come after things improve. It is what makes improvement possible. When I began to thank life, even in my uncertainty, I noticed how fear loosened its hold. Worry and gratitude cannot occupy the same space for long. One always dissolves in the presence of the other. I chose gratitude, and slowly fear began to fade like mist in the morning sun. The first great transformation I witnessed came from a woman who had lost everything. She thought to find her a home, a marriage, her sense of purpose. She came to one of my workshops filled with despair. I asked her to write 10 things she could thank life for, and she could only find one: I am still breathing. That was enough. Each day she added another: I have a friend who calls, I can see the sky. Months later, her entire energy had changed. Gratitude rebuilt her from the inside out. That is the alchemy of gratitude. It turns scarcity into sufficiency by teaching us to notice what is already here. When we say thank you, not because everything is perfect, but because we are willing to see the good, the universe begins to mirror that willingness. Life always meets us at the level of our appreciation. I used to believe that thinking grateful thoughts was enough, but gratitude is not a mental list. It is a vibration that arises from the heart. The mind may say I should be grateful, but the heart must feel it. When gratitude becomes felt rather than forced, it travels through the entire body like music. It softens the eyes, lightens the breath, and makes the voice gentle. Sometimes the mind will resist and say, there is nothing to be grateful for today. That is when gratitude works most powerfully. To say thank you in the midst of hardship is not to deny the pain. It is to lift it into light. It is to tell life, I trust you, even now. And that trust transforms the energy of the experience itself. What was heavy becomes lighter. What was cruel becomes instructive. Gratitude and forgiveness are close companions. Each unlocks the other. When I began forgiving those who had hurt me, I noticed gratitude rising naturally, like water following the shape of a new riverbed. And when I practiced gratitude, forgiveness appeared without effort. The two are different expressions of the same truth. Love is stronger than fear. I have seen gratitude restore health where medicine could not. A man once told me that after years of resentment toward his father, he developed severe stomach pain. When he began to thank his body for revealing his buried anger, the pain subsided. The energy that once fed resentment was now feeding healing. This is what I mean by alchemy. Nothing is wasted when the heart is open. Even grief, the most tender of emotions, can be transformed by gratitude. When my dear friends passed from this world, my first instinct was to mourn their absence. But as I began to thank them for the love we shared, I felt them nearer than ever. Gratitude turned sorrow into reverence. It reminded me that love never ends, it merely changes form. When you practice gratitude towards your past, you reclaim your power. Each event, even the painful ones, becomes a teacher rather than a wound. I once thanked the childhood that I had long condemned the fear, the abandonment, the struggle, and so it felt strange at first, but then I realized those experiences had made me compassionate. They had carved space within me where understanding could grow. Gratitude healed what pity never could. There are mornings when I simply sit and list aloud the gifts before me, the roof above, the breath within, the sunlight on the wall. I find that the more I acknowledge, the more appears to be acknowledged. Gratitude is an ever-expanding mirror. It reflects and multiplies whatever we choose to see. Sometimes people ask, how can I be grateful when I am in pain? And I tell them, begin where you are. Thank the breath that carries you through the pain. Thank the strength that still wakes within you each morning. Gratitude does not erase suffering, it wraps it in meaning. Pain without gratitude feels like punishment. Pain with gratitude becomes purification. Life responds to appreciation the way a loved one does it, smiles. When you look at life and say, I see your gifts, life says, here, have more. The more grateful you are, the more reasons you will find to be grateful. This is not superstition, it is natural law. Energy flows toward recognition. What we bless grows. There is a profound stillness that comes from living in gratitude. It is not excitement or optimism, it is peace. You stop chasing what you think you need because you realize how much you already have. That peace is the soil in which healing grows. In stillness, the mind rests, the body rejuvenates, and the heart remembers its strength. To live in gratitude is to live in harmony with life's divine order. It means trusting that even when you cannot yet see the good, it is forming beneath the surface. Gratitude says, I am willing to see the perfection I once called mistake. And in that willingness, miracles take root. Every time I say thank you, I feel as though I am opening a door inside myself. Behind it waits an entire universe of goodness I could not see before. The world has not changed, my perception has. Gratitude is that subtle shift in vision that turns ordinary days into sacred ones. So let us practice together. Think of one thing, just one, that you can thank life for at this very moment. Perhaps your breath, perhaps the chance to begin again. Feel the warmth of that thought spread through you. That is the vibration of gratitude, the soft hum that tells the universe, I am alive and I am willing. Gratitude will not make your life perfect, but it will reveal that perfection was never missing. It will not erase your past, but it will bless it. It will not promise that you will never feel pain again, but it will assure you that pain will no longer define you. It will transform everything it touches, beginning with you. When we end each day with thank you, we lay the foundation for a peaceful tomorrow. When we begin each morning with thank you, we remind life that we are ready to receive its goodness. Gratitude is the circle that completes itself, the breath of giving and receiving that keeps our hearts alive. By now, I no longer need to force gratitude. It has become the rhythm of my being. I thank life for its lessons as naturally as I thank the sun for rising. I have learned that gratitude is not only the key to healing, it is healing itself. It is the language of the soul, and when we speak it, all of creation answers. The heart is the home we all long to return to. It is the quiet sanctuary that waits beneath our thoughts, patient and unchanging. For years I lived from my mind, planning, analyzing, controlling. But the mind is a restless traveler. It seeks direction and proof. The heart, however, already knows. When I finally learned to rest there, I discovered that gratitude and love are not goals to reach. They are the natural fragrance of a peaceful mind. I remember the years when I feared my own tenderness. I thought strength meant guarding the heart, never showing weakness. But a closed heart cannot heal. It becomes like a clenched fist, unable to receive or to give. Gratitude taught me to open it again. Each morning when I placed my hand upon my chest and said, "Thank you for beating, thank you for keeping me alive," I could feel the walls around my heart begin to soften. The heart is the true altar of healing. It does not need elaborate rituals. A simple moment of presence is enough. When you place your attention there and breathe, you are already praying. When you thank life through your heart, not your head, every cell hears it. The energy of love travels faster than fear. It flows through the bloodstream like light through clear water, cleansing all that resists it. I often guide people through a simple morning ritual. Before you rise, place one hand over your heart. Close your eyes and whisper, "I am safe, I am loved, life supports me." Feel the rhythm beneath your hand, the steady drum of existence that never abandoned you. Each beat says, "I am here." This is how we begin to live from the heart, not by striving, but by remembering that we were never separate from love. The heart forgives in ways the mind cannot. The mind argues, analyzes, keeps accounts. The heart simply releases. Forgiveness is not about excusing the past. It is about freeing the present. Each time I said, "I forgive you," I felt a space open within me, wide enough for peace to enter. Gratitude rushed in to fill that space, like sunlight flooding a room once the curtains are drawn. When I speak of love, I do not mean sentiment or romance. I mean the quiet acceptance that says, "I approve of myself just as I am." This kind of love has power. It heals the unkind words we once believed about ourselves. It turns shame into compassion. When you learn to love yourself, your heart becomes a magnet for harmony. Every relationship, every experience begins to reflect that love back to you. I have seen people who felt utterly unworthy discover a whole new life by learning to bless themselves. One woman began every morning by looking into her mirror and saying, "I love you. I really, really love you." At first she felt foolish, but within weeks her face seemed brighter, her body lighter. The heart responds to such care the way a flower responds to the sun. It opens. Living from the heart does not mean you will never feel pain again. It means you will meet pain with gentleness instead of fear. It means that when sorrow visits, you offer it tea instead of resistance. Gratitude helps us do this. It says, "Even this too has something to teach me." When we trust that life's lessons are always loving, we no longer feel punished by our experiences. There were mornings when I placed my hand on my heart and felt only heaviness. Those were the moments when gratitude felt furthest away. Yet, those were also the moments when it was most needed. I would whisper softly, "Thank you for this heart, even if it hurts. Thank you for its willingness to keep loving." And in that thankfulness, pain slowly began to melt. The heart cannot remain hardened when it is being thanked. The more I practiced, the more I realized that gratitude is simply the heart recognizing itself. It is the soul saying, "I remember who I am." We do not have to force it. The heart already knows how to love. We have only to clear the debris of fear that covers it. And every act of gratitude sweeps away another layer, revealing the radiant core beneath. There is a gentleness that grows when we live this way. The voice in the mind becomes softer, kinder. The world no longer feels like an opponent, but a companion. Gratitude and love become the eyes through which we see. The same situations that once angered us now invite patience. The same faces that once triggered pain now remind us of our shared humanity. The heart's wisdom is timeless. It never hurries. It trusts in divine timing. When we rush, we are living from fear. When we breathe and allow, we are living from love. Gratitude slows us down enough to notice the blessings along the path. It teaches us to walk through life as through a garden, pausing often to admire what has grown. Each morning when I sit quietly, I imagine a light in the center of my chest. I breathe into it and let it expand. As it grows, I silently say, I am grateful to be alive. I am grateful to love and be loved. This simple visualization changes the entire tone of my day. Love cannot help but create beauty wherever it is welcomed. I once met a man who had spent years closed off after a betrayal. He told me he could not trust anyone, not even himself. I suggested he start not with trust, but with gratitude. Thank your heart for still beating, I said. Thank it for staying alive even after it was hurt. Months later he returned, softer, almost luminous. He said, I realized my heart never stopped loving it, only waited for me to notice. Gratitude always leads us home to the heart. It is the key that fits perfectly into its door. When we live from this place, forgiveness becomes natural, joy becomes simple, and peace becomes constant. The world may still have its storms, but the heart remains the calm center that nothing can shake. To return to the heart is to remember that love is not earned. It is inherent. We were born from it, we live through it, and we return to it. Gratitude is how we trace that path back to our source. Every thank you is a step closer to who we truly are. As I close my eyes each night, I rest my hand once more upon my heart and whisper, thank you for this day, for its lessons and its grace. Thank you for loving me, even when I forgot to love myself. I sleep in peace because I know that as long as I remember gratitude, I am never far from home. And when morning comes, I wake already halfway there, because gratitude and love are the same breath. The more we thank life, the more we return to the heart, and the more the heart reveals what it has known all along, that everything we seek is already within. There comes a time when gratitude ceases to be a practice and becomes a way of life. It is no longer something I remember to do. It is the quiet rhythm beneath all that I am. Gratitude has become my heartbeat, my resting thought, the silent companion that walks with me through every moment. I have learned that true transformation occurs not through effort, but through the constancy of appreciation. When we first begin, gratitude feels like something we must pause to remember. We write our lists, we whisper our thanks, and we hope to feel the peace we have heard about. But in time, gratitude deepens. It becomes the natural atmosphere of the soul. We begin to thank life, not only when things go well, but when they challenge us. The delays, the losses, the misunderstandings, all become invitations to trust that something wiser is at work. I have seen it again and again. Those who live in daily appreciation walk lighter. They seem to move in harmony with invisible grace. Life bends gently around them, as if responding to their inner song. It is not that their days are free from pain, it is that they no longer resist it. Gratitude teaches us that everything, even what we once called trouble, serves our unfolding. I remember a morning when everything seemed to go wrong. The phone would not stop ringing, the car would not start, and the rain poured as though the sky itself had forgotten joy. For a moment I felt the old frustration rise, but then I paused, smiled, and said, "Thank you, life, for this moment too." Something inside me relaxed. The rain became music, the delay a gift of stillness. Gratitude changed nothing outside me, yet transformed everything within. The more I practice this, the more I realize that gratitude is the art of spiritual cooperation. It aligns us with the natural flow of life instead of placing us in opposition to it. We cease to fight reality and begin to dance with it. Gratitude turns the rigid march of survival into the graceful rhythm of living. In the rhythm of thanks, even small acts become sacred. Washing a dish becomes a meditation. Walking down the street becomes a hymn of awareness. Every encounter becomes a chance to silently affirm, I see you and I am grateful. The ordinary world reveals its holiness to those who look through eyes of appreciation. There was a woman who came to me, weary from years of struggle. She said, I am so tired of fixing myself. I smiled and said, then stop fixing, start thanking. She looked puzzled, but she tried. Each night, instead of listing her failures, she thanked life for her breath, her effort, her courage to begin again. Months later, she wrote to tell me that the peace she had sought for decades arrived quietly one evening while she was washing her hands. Gratitude had turned her striving into serenity. Gratitude does not ask that we ignore the world's pain. It asks that we hold it in love. When we bless what we see, we help to heal it. A thankful heart radiates calm into every situation. In a troubled home, one grateful person can change the atmosphere for everyone. In a fearful world, one appreciative soul can become a lighthouse. Each morning, I remind myself that gratitude is not confined to my meditation cushion or journal. It must walk with me into the marketplace, into the conversations, into the pauses between tasks. Gratitude wants to be lived, not stored. When we let it move through us freely, it renews itself endlessly, like water drawn from an infinite spring. The heart that thanks often never runs dry. Every breath becomes a prayer, every moment a chance to remember that we are being carried. Even difficulties begin to look like disguised blessing. I once faced a challenge so large that I thought I could not survive it. But when I began to thank life in the midst of it, I saw how it shaped me into someone wiser, gentler, stronger. Gratitude had been sculpting my soul all along. You see, life always responds to our dominant thought. When we choose gratitude, life multiplies the reasons for it. The more we thank, the more we receive. It is not a bargain, it is a reflection. The universe mirrors the consciousness it perceives. To live in appreciation is to tune oneself to abundance, to harmony, to peace. In time, I learned to thank. Even the nights when I could not sleep, I would lie quietly and whisper, thank you for this silence. Thank you for this chance to listen. Often what I once called insomnia became meditation. Gratitude turned restlessness into communion. I began to see that every condition holds within it the seed of grace. There is a profound humility that comes with living in the rhythm of thanks. You realize that nothing truly belongs to you, not the breath, not the heartbeat, not even the body. Everything is borrowed from the great generosity of life. Gratitude keeps us aware of this sacred exchange. To give thanks is to honor the unseen hands that sustain us. Each day now, I thank not only for what I have, but for what I am becoming. Gratitude is creative. It shapes us according to its light. The more we thank, the more we resemble the qualities we praise. Patience, faith, joy, compassion. In this way, gratitude is not only medicine, it is transformation itself. When we thank life often, life thanks us in return. It sends us signs, unexpected kindnesses, gentle coincidences, the right word at the right time. These are life's ways of whispering back, I heard you. Gratitude opens a conversation between the human and the divine, and once it begins, it never truly ends. As the years have passed, I find that my gratitude has become quieter. It no longer needs to be spoken aloud. It hums beneath every breath. When I walk through my garden, I feel it in the sunlight. When I share a smile with a stranger, I feel it moving between us. When I sit alone at night, I feel it surrounding me like soft light. Gratitude has become the air I live in. Before I close my eyes each night, I give thanks for the day, its ease, its lessons, its simple grace. I do not ask for tomorrow to be different. I simply thank today for what it gave. And when I wake, I return to the beginning, the first thought of the day. I whisper, thank you. That one small gesture tells life, I am ready again. This is the rhythm of thanks, the eternal returning, the breathing in and out of gratitude and grace. It is the most natural rhythm in the universe. Every sunrise invites it. Every heartbeat confirms it. When we live this way, gratitude ceases to be a practice and becomes our being. So, as you wake tomorrow, remember, you need not wait for the world to give you a reason. You are the reason. The fact that you are alive, breathing, feeling, learning, this is the miracle. Whisper thank you and mean it. That is all life has ever wanted from you, to be noticed, to be loved, to be appreciated. And when you do, you will feel it, the quiet answering hum that says, I have been waiting for you. Gratitude is not the end of healing, it is its heartbeat. Each morning you awaken grateful, you tell life once more, I am ready to receive good, and life ever faithful replies, I am ready to give it. Wake up grateful and watch your life heal.